Nope. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome, everyone. Should we just get started with the music till people settle in?
We just had 10 minutes of music.
We begin with a rousing round of Hine Matov. How good it is that we're here together.
Hine Matov, Umanahayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov, Umanahayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanahayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Shalom Aleichem, 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 Shalom Aleichem. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov, Umanahayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Umanahayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome, everyone, guests of our bat mitzvah, Lila Chotner and her family, and also everyone who came tonight to welcome me and Rabbi Alter. We're so glad that you're here. And everyone who's joining us on the live stream, we're glad you're here too. We're going to begin now with lighting the candles, Shabbat candles, at page 2. And I'd like to invite Lila and her grandmothers, Anne and Deborah, and her mom, Claire, to come up and light the candles.
Hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Mazel tov. We turn now ahead to pages 20 and 21 for Lecha Dodi. Just a reminder to those of you who are regulars and for anyone who's joining us for the first time, we'll sing together with Blake verses 1, 2, and 5, and then we will stand and face the back of the room to welcome the Sabbath bride and join together for verse 9. Page 20, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el hamipad Adonai echad Shemo echad L'shem tifelet v'litzillah. Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Likrat Shabbat tekuven elcha ki mikor kaveracha merosh mikenem nisucha sof machaseh v'machav fatachila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Itoreri, itoreri, kiva orech umiori, uri, uri, shedaberi, kivod Adonai alek nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Oi v'shalom ateret ba'ala Tam b'simcha v'tzokola Tokem b'nei am segula. Oi kala Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat tekabela.
You may be seated. So, Rabbi Alter and I have been discussing this all week. We're very excited. And we're going to flip the script a little bit. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. For now, I'm going to share just a few words, very few. And then at some point in the service, if you're paying attention, you might notice that we're going to swap seats. So don't go too far, Blake and Ira, because it's really going to be very few words. Okay, so here's what I wanted to share. We're going to call this a mini Devar. I want to share this not-so-secret thing that I learned this week about Rabbi Alter, Rabbi Lebo, and about myself. I mean, I didn't learn it about myself this week, but I learned it about the other two rabbis. It's something that we all have in common. We believe words matter. That's probably not surprising to you that all three of your rabbis are interested in words and use a lot of words. But I would also venture to say that the three of us are wordies. And Rabbi Lebo and I were having a chat, it doesn't matter about what, and I discovered that we also share in common, and I haven't had a chance to discuss this with my other colleague, that we have a common interest in etymology, the origin of words, which for me began in childhood and grew exponentially when I learned Rabbinic Hebrew and Aramaic. So in classical or Rabbinic Hebrew, the word for welcome is Kabbalah. That's one of the ways that we say the word welcome, as in Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of Shabbat, the service that we're doing now. And it's derived from the root word kuf bet lamed, which means to receive. So we just sang Lecha Dodi, right? Lecha Dodi likrat kala, come my beloved toward the bride, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. So you hear that kabela, that's the same root. Let us welcome, or let us receive the Sabbath. So this welcoming of the Sabbath bride, it's a reception. And Pnei literally means the face of, right? Panim are faces, like in Yiddish, punim, right? It's a face. So, I mean, here it probably means more like souls, not literal faces, but, welcoming of the guests at a wedding before the chuppah is called Kabbalat Panim, the receiving of guests. That's when you welcome all of the guests before you go to the actual reception, which is after the service. So just as we stood and we turned to face the Sabbath bride who was entering at the back of the sanctuary, we were also welcoming Shabbat into our midst, into this space. So on this Shabbat of what I want to call welcoming the rabbis, Shabbat Kabbalat Rabbanim, on this Shabbat, I wanted to reflect a little bit about how we welcome Shabbat and how we celebrate Shabbat. So we've already mentioned the Kabbalat Shabbat prayers, such as Lecha Dodi. On Shabbat, we also celebrate with 3 festive meals, Seudot Shabbat, that include brachot, blessings, challah, it's all about the food, Blake, and zmirot, songs. And some of the songs that are sung at the Shabbat table are also about the food. I'm not making this up. The third phrase that I think of when I think about celebration or welcoming of Shabbat is Oneg Shabbat. And you might have thought that one is about the food. But the word oneg actually doesn't mean food. It comes from the word joy. So lehit aneg is to celebrate, to make joy happen. So I like to think of the Oneg Shabbat perhaps as a sweet taste, that's of Shabbat. It's so sweet, you can actually taste it. The rabbis of the Talmud also taught that Shabbat itself is a taste. Me'ein olam haba, it's a taste of the world to come. They believed that when the temple would be rebuilt, every day would be like Shabbat. Every day would be like living in Gan Eden, like living in paradise. When the temple stood in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem, the Levites would sing a song every day, a psalm for the day. And on Shabbat, the assigned Psalm 92 talks about how we celebrate, how we sing to God with musical accompaniment. So it kind of goes like this. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat. This is a song that we sing on Shabbat. Tov lahodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. It's good to give thanks to Adonai and to sing praises to your great name. Lahagid baboker chasdecha v'emunatecha baleilot. To speak of your kindness each morning and your faithfulness every night, which might sound familiar from other prayers. Alei asor ve'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor, with the music of a 10-stringed lute to the melody of the harp. That's what we sing on Shabbat. And in a moment, as soon as they can stand up, lickety-split, Blake and Ira are going to lead us in a jazzy, upbeat version of Mizmor Shir, a folk melody of this song that we sing on Shabbat, that literally starts, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. This is the song that we sing on Shabbat. And I am filled, looking out at all of your faces, and I have my glasses on this week, I'm filled with a kind of Oneg Shabbat, an anticipatory joy, because I know that as soon as the music starts, the song that we sing with musical accompaniment, the words will be so sweet in our mouths. And how delightful it is to be accompanied by musicians on guitar and piano, the modern lute and the harp, as we welcome Shabbat and together taste the world to come. Page 22.
Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaAdonai, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon. Yizvor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaAdonai, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon. V'hagid b'boker chastecha, ha'emunata b'leilot, alei asor v'aleina, ve'alei hagino v'kinot. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaAdonai, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot LaAdonai, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon, Ulezamer L'Shim HaElyon.
We invite Lila up. Lila, you ready? As we transition from Kabbalat Shabbat into the Mari of service. Come on up. I gotcha. Lila's going to lead us in the Kaddish, and I'll stay up here with you until the other rabbi gets here. Are you all set? Hang on. Okay, I gotcha.
Okay, thank you. Yikadal v'yikadash Rabba,
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach hirutei, Bi'alech malchutei, B'chayechon yomechon, U'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uvizman kariv, V'yivaru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach, Le'olam le'olmaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitrobam, V'yitlaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shebei Dekut Shabarihu, Le'elam Bichol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Damira Be'alma, V'yimaru,
Amen. Page 28.
Like you said, page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Eli, Adonai
continue on page 34 with the Shema.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Mahato. Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Mahato. Leolam Va'ed. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated and return to page 36 for the Ve'ahavta.
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in thy heart, shall be in thy heart. Thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, when thou risest up, when thou risest up. Thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. Thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gate, and upon thy gates, that ye shall remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
We now turn to page 40, where we sing our song of redemption, our song of joy and excitement that we were able to go free from Egypt. On the next page, we find the Hashemenu, our prayer asking God for a Shabbat Shalom, a shelter of peace.
Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Amideinu Shomrenu Lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Amideinu Shomrenu Lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Amideinu Shomrenu
And for our last song in this section of our service, we turn to page 44, Mishamru, a reminder for all of us to keep Shabbat.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasod et ha-Shabbat l'doratam b'rit olam. B'ni uvein Yisrael, Oti Leolam, Oti Leolam. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Laso et HaShabbat Lidurat Berit Olam. Ki Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai et HaShamayim V'et HaAretz Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Laso et HaShabbat Lidurat Berit Olam. Uvhayom HaShvi'i Shavat Vayinafash Shavat Vayinafash Shavat Vayinafash Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Laso et HaShabbat Lidurat Berit Olam. Vishamru B'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Laso et HaShabbat Lidurat Berit Olam.
In a moment, we will stand for the Amidah, the standing prayer. We will offer the first three together, and then take a pause, a moment, for each of us to find the prayers in our heart. And whether it is the Hebrew on the page, the English translation or interpretation, or what is just in here, we invite you to take a few moments and pray together. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftaku fia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor v'Chanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Hastei Avot V'Mekot, U'Mevi Gula Lifnei V'Nechem, L'man Shemo B'Yakava, Melech Hocher Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Izrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav l'Choshiach morid hatal. Mechalkel Chaim behesed, Mechaye hakol berakamim rabim. So omev noflim verofei oholim, umatir asurim, umekaye emunato lishenei afar, mihamocha ba'agevurot, umidomelach, melech me'mit umekaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanatav l'kayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekaye hakol. Atah kadosh, Vishim HaKadosh, U'Kadoshim B'Kol Yom, Ya'alelu Chasela, atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, and your name is holy. Those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. Blessed is our God. Blessed is the one. Oh, world ablaze with splendor. Atah Kadosh. Vishim HaKadosh. Ukdoshim Bechol Yom. Hallelujah, Selah. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Send peace to us and to all Yisrael, and let us say amen. Oh, say shalom.
Thank you, Mike. We continue on page 253, where we take a moment to think about all those in our community who are in need of refuah shlema, a complete healing. Healing of the body, of the mind, of the spirit, from trauma, from addiction, from all sorts of ailments. We think about everyone. Tonight we think about Harvey Adelski, Sherry Alexander, Richard Barker, Benny Berlin, Len Birmingham, Raymond Chung, Ray Clark, Bruce Cohen, Isidore Cohen, Mary Davis, Steve Despins, Clark DeVoskin, Mitch Earl, Steve Eckler, Beth Enig, Aaron and Roz Feingold, Kathleen Forge, Dr. Bruce Fox, Bobby Frederickson, Lauren Friedman, Bob Gans, Max Gans, Morris Golden, Sandy Golden, Gloria Goldsmith, Tom Gordon, Rick Hack, George Campbell Hamilton, Joni Handler, Brandon Hink, Helene Holzman, Blake Hull, Laura Jacoby, John Jenkins, Linda Jenkins, Shannon Jenkins, Al Justin, Layla Kaminer, Jackie Capstein, Marilyn Krasnoff, Cindy Levine, Ken Levy, Marcia Levy, Dorothy London, Bob Luciano, Asa Lua, Liz Lyman, Lisa Macklin, Chuck Manley, Jody Batmasha, Roberto May Fisher, Arnold Meyer, Phyllis Mix, Lowell Morrow, Greg Masher, Shayna Batmasher, Elena Milliken, Mark Newman, Arthur Newman, Jacob Newman, Joyce Newman, Lynn Present, Kathy Rasnick, David Rexman, Barbara Rittman, Deborah Rohan, Peyton Ruin, Barry Rosenblatt, Norman Rosenblatt, Sherry Rosenblum, Brian Rudolph, Patty Savage, Brian Schneider, Eric Schuster, Jillian Sekulis, I'm not sure, Lee Sexton, Nancy Shalit, Peggy Sharp, Judith Siegel, Carter Silk, Carol Silver, Nicole Aronson Silverman, Dee Singer, Debbie Singerman, Alan Slarov, Maureen Slarov, Melissa Smith, Robin Weinstein, Faye Yeager, Yarden Mayer Benyitzak, Paul Zale, Rama Rahamim Benzeneda. If you are thinking of other loved ones, or if you'd like to correct my mispronunciation that I'm sure happened, I invite you to share those names with us now. For all of these names, we join together in Debbie Friedman's Mishumerach.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with grief ruach lema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. As this is my first time on this Bima, I wanted to share one of my favorite stories. The more we get to know each other, the more you'll hear me share my love for Talmud. Talmud is a collection of rabbinic discourse from 200 to say 600 CE. It is full of debates and stories, more questions than answers. It is informative and funny, and at times so frustrating. Tonight, I'd like to share a Talmudic tale. One day, Rabbi Yehoshua was walking down the road on his way to a new city. After many hours of walking, he came across a child sitting at a crossroads, reading a book. Child, Rabbi Yehoshua beckoned, which path leads to the city? The child looked up at the rabbi and said, this path is short and long, and that path is long and short. Rabbi Yehoshua scoffed. Ha! Long and short, short and long? No need. Then, without even a moment of pause, Rabbi Yehoshua sauntered off. He chose the short and long path. A short time later, Rabbi Yehoshua continued strutting down the short and long path. Already, he could see the gardens and the orchards surrounding the city on the horizon. He was nearly there. But wait. Now he can see the city wall, the tall, solid, impenetrable city wall. There was no way in. The short and long path stopped short of the city. Grumbling, Rabbi Yehoshua turned around and marched all the way back to the crossroads, where he found the same child reading the same book. Didn't you tell me that this way was short? He demanded. The child calmly looked up and said, and didn't I tell you it was also long? Rabbi Yehoshua, pointing a finger, opened his mouth, ready to respond. When suddenly, he understood. He dropped his hands to his side, took a deep breath, and apologized. Then, he started down the long and short path. After a few steps, he shouted, "Happy are you, O Israel, for you are all exceedingly wise, from your young to your old." Every day, we face decisions. We hope, we aspire to see clearly. The first line of this week's Torah portion, Re'eh, offers just such a clear choice. See, this day I set before you a blessing and a curse. I wish decisions were that easy. It reminds me of comedian Eddie Izzard's line, "Cake or death?" Cake, please. But we know life is more complicated than that. To quote President Bartlett from my favorite television series, The West Wing, every once in a while, there's a day with an absolute right and an absolute wrong. But those days almost always include body counts. Other than that, there aren't very many unnuanced moments. Good decisions require experience. They require thoughtful reflection. We may need to reconsider. We may need to backtrack. We may need to change our minds. We may even need to admit that we were wrong. To make good decisions, we need not only vision, but perception. When we perceive what we see, we begin to take notice. As we learn from Rabbi Yehoshua, sometimes the apparent shortcut takes much longer, and sometimes the long road gets us there faster. This Shabbat, may we take the time we need, not only to see, but also to perceive, to notice, and to appreciate. And may we always leave room for more stories. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the Aleinu at the bottom of page 282. We invite you to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanagye haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kelkenu kachem, v'gohoralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malkei hamlakim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
In just a moment, we will recite the Mourner's Kaddish. I'm going to read the list of the yahrzeits for this week and also the 11-month list. When you hear your loved one's name, again, I hope pronounced correctly, you may rise. And if anyone has a yahrzeit or someone who they're keeping in mind, you're invited to rise as well. We'll all rise together at the end. Abraham Beal, Lee Chait, Margaret Davies, Marge Ginsburg, Shirley Goldshine, Manuel Gordon, Evelyn Gross, Howard Holder, Albert Catcher, Irving Kassoff, Skip Myers, Raymond Nemen, Aranetta Persky, Morris Persky, J. Pizik, Abraham Sheps, Ellen Suchka, Maria Verzosa, Sidney Wasserman, Roland Walfort, Charlene Jacoby, Barbara Wolin Kirschner, Stephanie Cooper Schulman, Francine Friedlander, Arlene Maniak, Clyde Teasley, Emily Jane Edelstein, Jeffrey Bruce Zibin, Gordon Goldsmith, Hartley Stephen Spat, David Benowitz, Josh Yellen, Leon Reckman, Robert Shaw, Roger Despens, Elon David Masseri, Betty Besser, Marlene Kaplan, Edith Eckber, Jay Anthony, Marcia Kurtz, Bernice Bunny Meyer, Melody Hudgens, Philip Kaufman, Jessica Berkeley, Eva Rothstein, David Bemis, Henry Meininger, Bridget Paon, Dennis Lebo. We rise as we turn to page 294, and we recite together the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam umei umaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitarmam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. It is now my pleasure to invite Sandy Davis and Lila to please come up. Don't look, no, just leave your book there and come
Not
on
a
up.
speaking part. It's okay.
This is the good part. This is where you get some gifts. No, it was planned. Here. Your face was priceless. Do you know Sandy? Okay.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Let's get you the mic.
Great job. Thank you.
Yes.
So, Mazel Tov. To you, to your parents, Jeremy and Claire, to your sister, Vivi. On behalf of Temple Kol Emeth, including our clergy and our religious school, we present you with 2 books. The first is your own copy of the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, our Jewish foundational text. The second is the J Girls Guide, providing practical advice using Judaism as a compass for the journey through adolescence. Also, on behalf of the WRJ, we present you with a set of crystal candlesticks. And on behalf of the Men's Club, we present you with a Jewish star necklace. We hope you will use these gifts often as you continue your journey to Jewish adulthood. Mazel Tov. I look forward to celebrating you tomorrow.
Mazel Tov. See, that was a good part. Okay, you can go sit down. Yeah, You have a copy, right? All right. Sandy's also got some announcements for all of us.
Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's great seeing everybody. There is so much going on at TKE, so please make sure to read through your program to learn about what's going on. I want to highlight a couple of upcoming events. Our end of summer cookout is this Sunday at 5 p.m. If you have friends or neighbors who are searching for a congregation, please invite them to join you to learn more about our TKE community. This event is free and open to all. Next Friday is Back to School Shabbat at 6 p.m. for our religious school families.
We're excited.
Please make sure to RSVP for Shabbat dinner if you are coming. We will also have our standard 8 p.m. service as well. I want to also invite you to attend the town hall meeting for our senior rabbi search next Sunday, August 20th at 11 a.m. in the social hall. Please check out kolemeth.net and read the Tekiah on Tuesday mornings to learn more about these activities and everything else going on. Thank you to the TKE past presidents for sponsoring tonight's Oneg, as well as to WRJ for sponsoring our pre-service wine and cheese. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I know I'm standing between everyone and the Oneg, so I'll be fast. I was asked to make an additional announcement about something very important. Clergy and anyone else who's responsible for what's coming next can take a deep breath. Elul begins next week, and we move into the final 4 weeks of preparation for Rosh Hashanah. And I don't mean cooking and baking, though you're welcome to begin that now as well. I'm talking about preparing ourselves emotionally and spiritually, and there are many upcoming opportunities that you may have already noticed in the Tekiah, but if you haven't, you need to go to the hub. Go to the hub. I want to mention 2 in particular because they include an RSVP. The first is a Lunch and Learn, Wednesday, August 23rd, asking forgiveness. When, how often, and what if you're too late? Together we'll explore why it's so difficult to say I'm sorry and how forgiving ourselves can help us learn to forgive others. The second is an evening program on the following Wednesday, August 30th, distillation of Psalm 27. Using a technique called blackout poetry, we will examine this biblical poem and create our own illustrated prayer poems for the High Holy Days. And I promise, no creative writing experience and no artistic experience is required, but registration is, so that we can ensure that we have enough art supplies and snacks. So please head to the hub to register for these 2 events and other events, and as Sandy said, there's a lot going on and we don't want you to miss it. After Kiddush and Motzi, in just a moment, I wanted to do one other little reminder. We're going to celebrate together at the Oneg Shabbat, and Rabbi Alter and I are looking forward to seeing you and schmoozing with you at the Oneg. So after Kiddush and Motzi, please make your way through the back doors to the social hall, and be sure on your way to return your Sidurim to the cart. Thank you. I think Blake's got Kiddush.
Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava uvratzon inhilanu. Zikarel lemahaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tzion Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mimkol ha'amim, v'shabbat Sheka, Bi'achava u'v'rat ata Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
Anyone who's under the age of bar bat mitzvah and is interested in a piece of challah, come on down.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread.
Thank you, God.
Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom. We'll see you at the Oneg.